Everybody, I'm here at my one of my favorite sushi places, and they go lunch until 4:30, and then it goes to the evening menu. And the evening menu is So I just explained to the server that I do these mini podcasts. I actually give her a card for the Nutty Professor, channel. She goes, "You have your own channel?" And I go, "Yeah." So all kinds of shit in it, but including food. So anyway. I came here for 4:30. I got here exactly at 4:30. Everybody, here I am at the car wash. I'm getting the gold, not the quick wash, the gold package because the inside is quite clean. I started cleaning myself, but they remove all the mats and they do a much better job than I can. And with the gold package, the main reason I'm going for it is even though the car was not really dirty outside, not really dirty inside, but they cleaned the wheels. And my wheels really need cleaning because those rims are hard. I try to do it myself, but it's really hard to do those rims. So it would be nice to have a proper rim cleaning, and I'm willing to pay the $20 extra. And I think they do a better job of they'll thoroughly vacuum inside and do the trunk and everything. So better than spending the money on other things. And the pull. Speaking of that. The pull has been very strong, very, very strong. But I'm like going, I battled with the kids, had a good night, had a good morning, except for the pulls. Talked to my father. So I had to go to the bank and do some stuff yesterday, so I had to talk about stuff. And then pulls were still strong, and I'm like going, let me go get the car detailed. That might help. Now, I don't think that's water. They kept like spraying inside the trunk of his water. It must be like air. The main reason I went for the gold because they're doing a better. They might have more patience than I have with cleaning inside those wheels. Everybody just saw the fall guy. Very silly, but sort of entertaining, I guess, ish. Pass the time. Like a little bit of rechanneling. There were still pulls, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to go straight back to the kids. Bye for now. Good morning, everybody. Had a good night with the kids. Both the babies are on the bed, and now Agita's on the bed, and both the babies are there inside in the hall. One is on that perch. One is on that perch. Had a good evening at home with the kids. There was still some pull. But exchanged text emails with friends and just stayed in. And today the plan is I might go to the art gallery again. We'll see. And then tomorrow day trip. Bye for now. Hello everybody. I'm here downtown and I took the bus and I had a good night with the kids. Good morning with the kids. Pulls ramped up. They're just kind of strong, but it's okay. I battled. And the kids, as my out-of-province friend says, are bringing their A game. Agita even climbed onto my chest when I was lying on the bed, which for her is height of affection. For like a minute, but still, they know that I'm struggling, so they're doing everything I can. So I have to do everything I can. So I ended up just getting ready and taking the bus to town. I was going to eat at the Indian place next door where I normally go, but there's a new Hakka Chinese and Indian place here, just opened recently, I think relatively recently, and they have lunch specials. So I'm having the hot and sour soup, which is vegetarian, and chili fish. Okay, the food has arrived. I'm having the Manchurian fish, and as for the spicy, it's good. It's the Hakka style where they do it in the breaded, and then they put it in the sauce, kind of a dark sauce. The only thing is, there's a lot of coriander, which is cilantro, which I don't really like. I mean, when I cook, I used to put a tiny little bit of coriander, and that did like cook the hell out of it, so you couldn't really taste it all that much. But and I hate it when people put fresh coriander. Art gallery again, and I'm going to head to see if the upper exhibitions there, 5th and 6th floor, are reopened yet. Or 4th and 5th, I think. Bye for now. 4th and 5th floors are still closed for installation. So I'm just going to look around the regular galleries here on 2nd and 3rd. Most of the stuff I'm fairly familiar with, and maybe check out that new one of women artists in the 1600s to 1800s. Hello everybody! Since I didn't spend a lot of time at the art gallery and it stopped raining, it's become sunny again, I stopped here, ice cream truck by City Hall. And you know, all the tourists taking pictures and I'm having my ice cream. Bye for now. And then I walk back to the bus. Bye for now. Hello everybody, it's the next day. Agita's there and both the babies are there. Had a good night with the kids. There was still some pull at night. There was, but it's okay. I knew that I was going on the day trip today. So there was some pull, but I did a little bit of reading, spent time with the kids, had a good night with the kids, a good morning, and I packed up my day backpack. Just a spare set of clothes and stuff like that, just in case, even though I'm not staying the night. So when the kids see that, they know that I'm going on a day trip. And I refreshed the kitty litter and all of that stuff. So fed them. Now I'm just going to get ready and head out on the day trip in the 4:30. Everybody, here I am in scenic Chatham, Ontario, and the S430 is there in the shop. So I came directly in that one because it needs an oil change and air conditioning looked at. And I'm at a little coffee shop, kind of a snack bar restaurant, just 3 doors over from my mechanics. And my mechanic comes here regularly for food and takeout. I used to come a couple of years ago, and it was like more of a sit-down place with tables and everything. But she was just explaining that after COVID, they kind of switched to this form. Everybody, all kinds of things happening. I left that place, the lunch counter place, and talking to the lady there about my contractor, and I have to find another one. And she gives me a recommendation, calls and leaves a message for him, and I say it's just final trim stuff, And then I come here and I end up in this sort of semi-political, semi-whatever, some sort of activist chap here in this town, discussing all kinds of things, and I think that he sort of supports the guy with the orange hair south of the border. Sort of does, sort of doesn't. So that it was kind of a weird. It's not left and right anyway. Remember how I keep saying my podcast, left and right is the same thing anyway. So this guy kind of gets it, but he's at a different kilter. And I didn't mention to him what my particular angle is. How I investigate things is a little different than he does. He's more activist in terms of anti-politics or something, but whatever, it was interesting. Okay, it is a blower motor for the air conditioning. He doesn't think it's any way connected with all the stuff that happened last year, replacing the unit, and he goes, it's just from sitting. The car sits every winter, so I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's $300, $400 more, which I don't mind, I'm fine with that, but the only thing is that they don't have it, they couldn't get in stock. So it has to come like tomorrow, and I don't stay overnight here because my house is not livable. And I've got the kids back home anyway, so I have to go bring it back next week. So hey, they ordered the blower motor for the air conditioning. It'll come tomorrow, but that doesn't help because I'll be in Toronto. So next Wednesday, I was supposed to go get the Pacifica. They got the brakes, the back brakes. They ordered them. They arrived last week, and then they sent them back. I don't know. There was some mix-up. They came here, and then they went back, and then they went back to the wherever. So they're not in Chatham anymore. So basically, today the only thing that happened was they got the oil changed, and I talked to the lady there who might have given a reference for another handyman or contractor. So right here, and look, grass is cut front and back. A little better than it was before. And he trimmed around the trees. That's his thing. He trims and does everything. So looking a little neater. Just have to deal with that guy. Anyway, at least I don't have to worry about cutting the grass. Now, I'm going to go in. There's no changes because no changes here because my contractor hasn't been here. Everybody, I've just stopped. I've got more news. I stopped at that lawn care guy's place, and this time, he was pecking a little less, so it was okay. And, I thanked him for cutting the grass again and paid him for today's cutting. And then we talked, and then he was, it was okay. I mean, and then he's bringing his nephew to have a look at my house next week. I don't think anything will come of it, but so all kinds of things happening. But it was okay. I mean, that I had to leave before his wife gets upset. But I wasn't drinking or anything. I was just talking to him. So, and then I stopped here. Just I'm here in scenic London, Ontario, and I just got some books at the Chapters across the road. More rejournaling, just trying to get traction on something. So, got some more books, and then. I used to come here regularly for chicken shawarma. And since I'm not eating chicken anymore because I've grabbed the chicken, I'm getting a falafel wrap to eat while driving, and then I'll stop at the gas station. So that's what's happening. Bye for now. I stopped here at the service center to finish my sandwich. I started eating while driving, but it was kind of hard with all those layers that he's wrapped it in. And it's falafel, so it doesn't really matter if it gets cold. So having it here in the service center, and then I was just straight back to the kids. They can make cola. Lots of stuff today. Less drama than last week, but there's stuff happening with the, possible handyman appearing out of the woodwork, and somebody possibly interested in buying the house. Even though it's not finished yet, but I don't think anything will come of that. But and then I met the grass cutting guy again. He cut the grass, and he was better behaved today.
No pets, ain't got no cigarettes, but 8 by 12 4-bedroom.
Hello everybody, I'm here in the 430, driving in passing Ancaster. This is actually where my car broke down twice. This one last year, and the BMW 3-4 years ago, the other side of the road, coming up the hill. And after I ate, driving along, and I'm listening to CDs that came with the car. They were in the CD changer at the back, and there's a real mix in there from Kanye West to folk to country to disco to whatever. There's mostly not the kind of music I would ever listen to, but there's some of the things. I mean, I'm listening to this King of the Road. I don't know what that is. Country western, which I normally hate, but country western combined with folk. I think it's folk. I should ask my friend who's into my out of province cat rescuer friend who's into folk music and stuff. She'd know she'd know the song, and she'd know what it's classified as. I think it's folk country something. I remember listening to the song as a kid. My parents liked it in England. We're talking over 55 years ago, and I don't think my father was very fond of Gentleman Jim Reeves. Now, I don't think this is him. This is someone else. But it was kind of that genre. And Hello everybody, I just came back a couple of minutes ago, and I haven't even taken off my coat yet, and Agita is running around there, and one of the babies is here, and the other baby's there sniffing my day backpack. And I filled it with books because they don't give you bags anymore at Chapters. So I stuffed my books, the books that I brought in there. So, and in London at the Chapters. So way back, I was listening to the kind of genre of music that I don't normally listen to, and I was a little buzzed just on all the synchronicities today, different types of synchronicities, more house-oriented, ordinary world synchronicities with potential handyman and talking to that grass cutting guy again, but. He was better behaved today, so all of that stuff. So everything, there was various things, and the mechanic and this and that, and the house and the cars and the this and the that. I just buzzed with all of that stuff. Natural, sort of a natural eye, Kids having their supper, and at first. Lcee was like, no, I don't really like it. I don't want it. I had to put some churro on it. He licked his bowl clean. So anyway, home with the kids. And they're just gonna, maybe work on a couple of texts to friends, and I'll work on the journal entries tomorrow. Everybody, it's now a couple of days later. Agita's there, and one baby there, and one baby there. Now, there's news. I would have said bad news, and then I'm going, it's neither good nor bad, it's just news. The good news is I survived. Of course, there was another binge, and they're getting deeper. They're getting more shadowy. I become less and less, human during them. I'm not as in more in terms of I become Michael, the one brain celled llama, the drama llama. I came up with that drama llama term well before Useless Farm, and the drama alpacas, which is really the same thing as llamas. And there's one named Michael who has like one brain cell, and actually that one's shared with Jason, another alpaca. So when I go to party slither, I go down below one brain cell. I'm like -5. That used to be a joke with someone a few years back, So that's my shadow. That normally I'm articulate and, well-read and all of that stuff. When I party, I become the opposite. I become the opposite of what I am, the shadow, So we've talked about this so many times, but it's just getting more and more. And the people that I party with, understandably, they get frustrated, because I'm like a one brain cell llama, baka, whatever, and a very slithering one at that, So, I guess it was not unexpected because it has been 4 weeks since the last one, and the last one was a pretty major one. And then there was a minor one after that a few days later. And then the thing is that the casino control burn got burnt. It stopped, with the self-exclusion ban. Now, that was a good thing, because the casino thing was starting to take over, But, it did work. Right after that, the big binges, that last binge, the 4 week ago one, I used the casino a lot. And it kept me clear, Now, it cost a lot of money, but that's which I won back and then got banned. So, no. And then there is movement at the house, but this drama movement. And the contractor wants to finish the house, and I've sort of been looking at trying to get someone else. Now I'm trying to get the new guy to come and meet the previous contractor, the current contractor, and maybe they can just kind of divide up. But they have to get along, and there's all kinds of drama happening there. And then there's the grass cutting stuff, and then there's the car stuff, and it's movement, it's progression, And I've written about some of the characters out there, and my friend said, this is an interesting thing to write. It's PG-13. All of my other stuff is XXX. But she goes, small town life, and the little character, and the character is the eccentrics there, of which I would be one if I lived there, very much so. So all of that stuff, and the pressure built, and and I think I had been saying in podcasts that there are strong polls. Yesterday, and I don't, as usual, I don't talk about this. I don't talk about other people are involved, and there's anonymity and there's privacy. And, I will just admit what happens to me, that I get possessed. And remember, we've gone through the various models, various metaphors, the inner werewolf, the inner dragon, the inner anima, the sort of feminine energy, but not in a productive way, in a party sense. So, extreme party sense. So that's like all of that stuff. But the latest incarnation is getting wilder, and it's getting mixed with Michael, the one brain-celled, alpaca. So we got quite a fucked up, possession going on when I do party slither, and it's obviously there's something that is pulling me there, but at the same time it's awful. It's as I've said before, unimaginable delights and unspeakable horrors. Now, yesterday when I'm partying with people and I'm in that state, I can't even mention this stuff. I was like, I have frameworks and I have unimaginable horrors and unspeakable horrors and unimaginable delights, and they were both. They were both last night. And as I said before, the most unspeakable horror is I'm aware of what's happening to me. And and I see what I become when I'm there, and that's an unspeakable horror for me, So, but there's also unimaginable delight. So, it's kind of fucked up, and I was ready to keep going, like another 5 hours, and that. I had someone play the song "Might Not" Weekend, which I think is mentioned in one of my earlier podcasts, and I've mentioned it before several times. But I really felt that I was in a might not situation, and if I had gone for the extra, and there are a lot more stuff and 5 more hours of partying, slithering. I might have made it, but there was a lot of risk of, and I hadn't eaten, I hadn't taken my diabetes meds. So, medical complications and stuff like that, even if it's not actually, the ultimate, but they're really increasing the chances of, of risks of something happening. And somehow, I mean, it was the kids, and even knowing that the kids were here and that they'd been alone and that I was putting myself in a risky situation, I was ready to go another 5 hours. I just barely pulled myself out of it. So, and I got home, and I got home safely, and I haven't slept. And the kids, they know. I mean. I didn't get home that late, it's like midnight, but the kids knew, and the babies came and slept with me on the bed, and they cuddled and they purred, and they're just happy that I was back. And Agita came on bed in the morning, so kids are fully cognizant of my closeness to the edge. And how close to the edge I was last night. So, it's it's day one again, and I didn't sleep. I don't have any food in the house, and I haven't eaten since like a grilled cheese sandwich yesterday morning. So I do need to eat and take my diabetes meds. Very important. And I don't have much in the house, and I think I also need to go out a little bit of fresh air, and just ordinary world. I have to bring myself back to the ordinary world. So and I didn't even mention when I'm in the state, I can't mention that I the frameworks I have. The heroic journey, the sort of anti-hero, the underworld, and the ordinary world, return of the anti-hero, all of that stuff. And Puss in Boots is a archetypal cat hero, all of that stuff. I become nonverbal, really, become Michael, the one-celled, one brain-celled alpaca. So here I am, the brain cells are starting to fire up again. I think I might have lost some, but I usually do in these things. But they are firing again, so starting to. So, and I think I need to feed them like real food. So I think I am going to, I made the effort to get ready. So I am going to go take the mini maybe and have breakfast and then come back. I was going to go to PetSmart, but I think we have enough stuff. Going to PetSmart to shop for the kids, that is part of my return, as my very few viewers know. So that's what's happening. This time around it was 4 weeks rather than 10, 12. But there's all kinds of things happening, and the pulls are getting stronger, and the journeys are getting deeper and riskier. And a certain side of me is coming out more. And I don't want to, again, I'm willing to write about all of this. And if I ever publish, change names and all of that stuff. But I'm willing to talk about and people I meet, the strugglers, what I call the strugglers, incredibly tough life. And I've said this so many times. I'm fortunate, that I do have, the resources to sort of go to that world. Remember way back, someone said I was a tourist in that world. I'm not a tourist anymore. I never have been because, I haven't been in a long time because when I go there, I become full out dusty dumpster rodent weasel, and returning is getting harder and harder and harder and harder. And one of these days, it's going to be, so I don't want to hit that wall. I'm getting closer and closer to it. I was practically on it last night. So, but I did. I mean, it was me. I made the decision not to do another 5 hours, which would have been very risky, Still, there's a little bit of regret going, I could have had 5 more hours. And instead, I came back to the ordinary world, and I just lay in bed, not being able to sleep. But I had my kids with me, and that was the biggest thing. My kids are here, and I have this place to come back to. That's the whole thing. I do have this place to come back to. I have the resources, but they're rapidly depleting. And I do. I report back. I do sort of go into that world, and I talk about the struggles and the pushes and the pulls and all of that stuff, generally here, but more specifically there when I write about it, which I have not tried to publish yet. But they're very interesting stories. I've met some really incredible people, So, but I'm in the state there that I can't really even interact with them because I'm in my possession mode, It's all messed up. Anyway, but I'm back. That's the news. I'm back. So I'm going to go have some breakfast, come back, and try to edit and post. Bye for now. Hello, everybody. I had to make effort to actually come out. I haven't eaten since yesterday morning. Just a couple of grocery sandwiches. And then I didn't eat at all during the binge, of course. And this morning, there's really no food in the house. And I also thought it would be a good idea to come out and to be around humans. And, I'm Below West Village, all kinds of human kids, including one right behind me. I got a table outside. It's very, very nice, very pleasant. And the returns are getting... Yes, please. The returns are getting harder, because I'm going deeper. And I've said this. So how deep can I go? How far can I go into shadow and still be able to return? And that's an experiment. I'm sort of, the self-experiment is a risky one. But I keep coming back, and I had the chance yesterday to go way further. And I somehow, I don't know how, hard to talk about this without, being more explicit, but somehow I managed not to extend, or not to go back to a certain situation, I still regret not going another 5 hours because they're just so, unimaginable delights and unspeakable horrors at the same time. Anyway, but we're back to the ordinary world. Eggs and toast and... I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety here, but that's to be expected, Not sleeping vast amounts of, yesterday. So I think there's a bit of withdrawal as well. And also, they're not eating until the first time I've eaten in 24 hours. And now that I'm, sober and back to, ego functioning, I'm like, kind of being overwhelmed by just how far I went into it last night. It just takes over. So there's very little ego boundaries. So and it's getting deeper and deeper. So now that I'm, ego is sort of reforming, I'm like going, what the fuck? And it's getting worse. Well, deeper, better, worse, whatever. So I don't know. Just go day by day, that's all. So I might stop at, there's no frills over there. And, hello everybody, it's 4:44. I just noticed that. I'm home. Both the babies are in there. one baby there, one baby there, and Agita is there. Got back a few hours ago, and pull has still been strong, even though I haven't slept at night, But the further you go into shadow, the harder it is to come back. And I've said this so many times. Again, I'm talking without details because this is a public sort of forum, and there's privacy and there's other people involved, and legal issues. So if I am writing about all of this detailed, and if I ever publish my DDRW stories, then it'll be like fictionalized and everything changed, locations, names, fictionalized, and I'll have the little disclaimer going, this is a work of fiction. Any similarity to persons living or dead is entirely coincidental. But that's not right now. The priority is just getting through this. So in the meanwhile, at least I am recording. At least I am, doing these, which is very, very general, the pushes and the pulls and the struggles. And the returns, my framework, returns to the ordinary world, all of that stuff. I've also got a bad toothache. I got so I'm going to see the dentist on Thursday. So in spite of everything, in spite of not sleeping, and again, I don't want to talk about details, but just yesterday's slithering, situation was very powerful. So went very deep, as I said, aspects of myself that are servicing that kind of, to me are also unspeakable horrors, but it's in sort of controlled settings with, again, I don't want to talk about this, it's, and the consenting adults, all of that stuff, the usual thing, and there may be substances involved, legal or illegal, I could be talking about booze, I could be talking about marijuana, legal. Apparently, mushrooms. Somebody told me, or I saw a shop the other day. I didn't realize that. Magic mushrooms are legal these days at shops. I had no idea. So anyway, I'm back with the kids. So you know what? I think I'm just going to edit and post, So before I edit and post, I do have to... I'm speaking kind of funny because I got a toothache. I'm going to see my dentist on Thursday. But anyway, before I edit and post, I have to. I'm going to pick a tarot. This is my ritual after a binge. So, now, there's two. I've done a thorough Nutty Professor shuffle. There are two that were speaking to me. Between this one and that one, sticking out one. So of the two, I think it's this one, but out of curiosity, I look at that other one as well. And since I do these very informally, I'm not doing a reading, I'm not doing it properly, so even if I pick two cards, it'll be interesting to see, what the two are, So let's do, this is actually, I think, the one that I picked. And that's the secondary one. So let's do the first one first. King of Wands. Man over 25 years, green eyes, blonde, red hair, restless, outspoken, ambitious. Now, let's look it up. Okay, just Googled it, and King of Wands description. King of Wands sits on his throne, holding a blossoming wand in his hand, a symbol of life and creativity. His throne and cape are decorated with lions and salamanders, both symbols of fire and strength. Lions, of course, cat family too. Salamanders biting their own tails. That's like the Ouroboros, represent infinity in the ongoing drive to move forward against all obstacles. That's pretty good. Let's. Okay, this one says upright, and this is upright. Leadership, vision, big picture, taking control, daring decisions, boldness, optimism. I don't know, but yeah, it's sort of a. But any of these can apply. But yeah, I do kind of need to take the big picture. I do need to take control. I do need to make decisions. I don't know about the optimism. I'm getting kind of frustrated and worn down. But yeah, this is a good card. So let's just out of curiosity look at the second one. Two of Pentacles. Money confusion. Juggling two situations or ideas around. This is also very appropriate. Let's look this up. This is actually an even more optimistic one. Two of Pentacles tarot card. Two of Pentacles card depicts a man who is dancing as he is juggling two large coins. The pentacles are surrounded by the infinity sign. We saw infinity in the other one as well. That denotes that the person can handle all the issues that come his way and he can manage his life with grace. In the background, you'll notice the two ships riding the giant wave. They're reinforcing the balancing act the man has to face. He's in rough and choppy waters. You can say that again. That definitely applies. But he manages to stay afloat. Well, let's hope so. So far, I've been staying afloat, but waters are getting choppier. Two of Pentacles depicts the usual ups and downs that occurs in one's life. Despite all the chaos that surrounds him, the man lives a very carefree life. Some would see my life as carefree as he dances, even though I'm dancing on a tightrope right over the edge, handles all that comes to him with joy. I don't know about the joy. there is joy. I mean, there is joy here at home in my family, and there is also, joy in being able to explore things that a lot of people can't explore. Risky though they may be, but and there is. I keep saying there are the unspeakable horrors, but there's also the unimaginable delights, and they really do balance each other like that. Infinity. So something to think about. So I kind of picked two cards. I'm going to use both of these in today's podcast. So I don't do this formally. I'm not a reader. I don't take these things literally or really very seriously. I just do it for fun. But it's interesting. It's interesting to reflect on and to think about. And it's pretty general. You can read, as my out of province friend says, you can read a lot of stuff into, like astrology for me, it's just another angle. I don't take it literally. It's just like with the science stuff. It has its limits. The Jungian stuff has its limits. The social psychological stuff has its limits. And this stuff, I find it interesting. And, if it helps me to reflect and gives me ideas, it works. So that's the tarot part. Now, just to very quickly recap, there were polls, very strong polls, right after the last podcast. And, there was stuff going on. I did go to the art gallery. There was the trip out there to the house, and there's all kinds of things going on at the house. The contractor, and then hiring another contractor, but the previous contractor still wants to keep working. So now I'm going to try to get them both to work on the house. And if I can get that house ready and either start spending more time out there with the kids or sell it and buy a house in the town. My friend liked the sort of, story, quote unquote, that I wrote about the whole, the small town life with the right-wing activist guy and the mechanics and, spouting off theories. And then there's the lawnmower guy and, the country folk, in the little country, the issues, small town, not so much country, small town, So it's a change for me from here. You can party slither anywhere. But there, I think the focus would be more. If I move to a house with more of a neighborhood, and I'm getting to know some of the people out there, and it might be a change, and I'll still keep this place, for when we want to come to the city. So at least as long as I can. So that's what we'll see how it goes. But then there's car stuff, and there's and the stuff happening on Wednesday. So there's kind of pulls towards that. Towards getting the house ready, trying to spend more time out there. But then these polls are more intense, and there are good stories about the country people, or the small town life. But these stories, I mean, these encounters are so much more intense because we're dealing with much more intense struggles and issues, and of my own as well, and people that I encounter who live very, very difficult lives, but survive, and keep going. So there's I think that this stuff has a stronger pull, and what happens to me, it's unspeakable horror, but there are also the unimaginable delights, and there is stuff that I come away from, knowledge about myself, and so it, I don't like to use this word, but it's a dark journey, but it's also a very spiritual journey. It's I become a one brain celled alpaca, which is a bit fucked up. But anyway, I'd rather be a feral cat. So that's what's happening, So I'm back, deeper and deeper into shadow, but I come back, So I'm here with the kids. I've talked about how the famous former psych prof, now turned podcaster, also Jungian sort of, framework to a certain degree, the very famous one, the one who's more political. I mean, he writes about shadow and anima and all of that stuff, and he talks about it, and the theoretical and the mythological and all of that framework and the political implications and his views of trans people and all of that stuff. But I, on the other hand, I live out shadow. I go right into it. I mean, I go right to the core, and kind of lose my ego and go right into the archetypes, the shadows and the anima and the all of that stuff. Oh, it's harrowing, but it's the other way of investigating. I'm not doing this theoretically. I'm doing it experientially, Now, it's because of a lot of the stuff that I get into isn't societally approved. I can't talk about it as openly, but it's basically the same thing that he's dealing with, but I'm in it. So, and I'm trying to come back. I'm trying to come back to the ordinary world with whatever I learned there. But first I have to survive. So I can't. So I keep coming back. So that's what's happening. So from, as usual, deeper into shadow, but I'm back and I haven't slept and all of that stuff. At least I ate. I got a toothache. Did I mention this? There were polls today too. That's how fucked up this thing is. There were actually polls today, But it's okay. I'm here with the kids. I'm going to edit and post now. So we've got one of the babies there, and Agita there. So from the four of us, my three kids, and they are my kids. I mean, to me, they're kids. They are my family, So from the three kids, my main pushes to keep returning to ordinary world, and not give up, So so from the three kids and from myself, without the shadow of a doubt, the most fucked up, nuttiest, craziest professor to ever walk the face of the earth. Bye for now. See you next podcast. Wish me luck.